A very warm welcome to you. They're a common sight across the capital, hire e-bikes that can be picked up anywhere using an app. But it's where they're being left that's causing concern in one area. A Londoner in Hounslow got in touch with us, worried a serious accident could be caused by electric bikes being left in the middle of roads. Residents there are now calling for a bike trial in their borough to be scrapped. But the council and e-bike operator Lime say they're working together to get people to use and park the bikes responsibly. Here's Nikki Ford.
The moment an electric bike gets dumped in a place it clearly shouldn't have been. Captured by one resident's doorstep camera.
They put it in the middle of the road very close to the junction, and obviously it was planned so that a car would come around the corner, hit it, and then they manoeuvred it so that it was horizontal rather than vertical. It was taking up pretty much the middle of the road. A car then did come around the corner, luckily saw it, but practically had to mount the pavement and the curb to get past.
Hounslow is the latest council to introduce the Dockless bike scheme run by the company Lime. Their aim? To provide an easy and environmentally friendly way to travel. Hounslow say over 40,000 trips have been made in the first month. However, it's where these trips are ending that's concerning people on this street.
As soon as it came out, we saw a bike just parked outside here, and we had to push it so we can get the cars out. And it's very, very hard to push it and put it all the way back at the end of the road.
While we were filming, other residents stopped us to complain about them too.
These are more hindrance than anything. I don't know why the council have put these up. Then they really are hazard to us, the drivers.
It's a very new thing. I know the borough is looking at a good thing, but it's not appropriate where the bikes have been allocated. They need to be moved in a proper place.
There is a designated parking bay for the bikes, but residents say that hasn't helped.
They should be in that single cycle hire only bay, but they're being spilt over not just to these two bays, but sometimes opposite. Because these bikes are dockless, they can be pretty much dumped anywhere. And the bikes need to go. The scheme isn't working.
Well, Hounslow Council say that this is part of a 6-month trial and they're working closely with Lime Bikes to ensure that people park their bikes responsibly in the designated parking bays. But the rules on how and where to park bikes like this vary from borough to borough.
Currently, there are designated parking bays for Lime bikes in 5 London boroughs. But elsewhere, customers are urged to park them responsibly or face a fine issued by the company. However, one disabled-led transport group say they still encounter problems with e-bike hire schemes.
When they're not placed in their dock, so if they're just left across a pavement or a drop curb or anything like that, it means that for so many disabled people, it prevents them from passing, it prevents them from continuing on with their journeys.
There are calls for better regulation of all the e-bikes across London, whilst Lime Bikes want an extra 10,000 parking bays. In Hounslow, residents want better enforcement of the ones they've got. Nikki Ford, BBC London.
So a sense there of some of the issues people in Hounslow have been facing. Lime is one of the biggest providers of hire e-bikes across the capital, and our reporter Layla Hayes has been speaking to them about how they're tackling the problem.
Our viewers are telling us that they're finding these bikes on the pavement, sometimes in the middle of the road, in front of people's driveways. What are you doing to try and combat that?
Safety is our #1 concern. And so there's a lot of things that we do in order to sort of tackle bad behavior, such as making sure that people can only park in certain locations. So we only allow parking where the council have given us permission to. Something else that we do is we require all viewers to take an in-trip photo. And if we do not see the vehicle in the photo or something's missing, we do issue a fine if we do not see that the vehicle is well parked.
So how many fines have you issued in the last year, would you say? Do you know?
We've issued thousands of fines, but this is a case of what we're doing and how we're trying to tackle the root cause of the issue, which is that there's multiple parking rules across London.
It's very difficult, isn't it, for pram users, wheelchair users, those who are visually impaired. I mean, there is a danger that there will be a serious accident if these bikes are just left in the middle of the pavement or the road.
It's always disappointing to hear when our bikes are being obstructive. But as I've mentioned to you before, even the small minority of users, we're tackling their behavior through education. so they get messaging about where to park and how to park after, if they get something wrong. And also a very large team that's in London right now, a team of over 100 people going around and tackling sort of like, moving any bikes that might be obstructive.
So if our viewers see Lime bikes dumped on the pavement or in the road, what should they do?
Anyone who sees a Lime bike where it shouldn't be should report it to us at support@li.me. The email is monitored 24/7, and we can respond very quickly to different instances, and our response will be different for the type of incident that they report to us.
That was Layla Hayes speaking to Manish Karel from Lime Bikes there. Well, Satish, who you heard from earlier, got in touch with us about the issue in his area by emailing us at hello@bbclondon@bbc.co.uk. You can see the address there, and we're always keen to hear from you. So that's the address if you'd like us to look into a story where you live.